We are here at Emarsys Revolution in London, and I am talking with Matt Hayes of Kick Dynamic. Matt, thank you so much for being here at Revolution and for being here on Marketer and Machine.
No worries, thank you, my pleasure.
So you are obviously with Kick Dynamic,
Yes.
and for anybody in the audience that may not yet be as familiar as they should be with your company, what can you tell them about Kick Dynamic?
So Kick Dynamic works with customers to power personalized content within an email. So at the time the recipient of an email is opening it, we actually serve the image at that moment, and we personalize it based on lots of different pieces of data. We make it relevant based on their context of open, and we also automate that so they save loads of time in building their email.
Sounds perfect. So you've also been involved in all of the Revolution events that we've had so far.
I have.
So thank you for that.
No worries.
And what are your thoughts of this one here in London?
It's great. Yeah, I mean, much bigger scale compared to last year when we were in Berlin, which is amazing to see. Having partnered with Emarsys for coming up to probably 2.5 years, it's amazing to see that growth in the events that you're putting on. And obviously, it's also taking place in the best city in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Not that you're biased.
I do live here, obviously.
Well, thank you for being here, and I know you just presented this morning some pretty great stuff. So tell us a little bit for everybody, especially who wasn't here.
Yep.
Tell me what you spoke about on stage.
So I spoke with Jordan from our team, and we covered the journey that we help our customers go on from sending batch and blast email to personalized email. And we had loads of examples in there, so I recommended looking at our content and seeing some really great examples. But really it's about, the first place we started as well was on automation. So you can't do really good personalization unless you're automating what you do. And that's message automation, so that's making sure emails go out automatically, but it's also the content in there needs to be automated before you can get to personalization. And I gave an example of this concept we call the BAU loop, which is business as usual email. And it's where you're building an email, you get a designer to do something, you then code it, it goes into the HTML, and then you go to start testing, and then something's not quite right, so you go back, you design it, you code it, you go to testing again, it looks quite good. You go to just about to press send, and then the offer changes, or stock goes out of, a product goes out of stock, sorry. And that BAU loop, I spoke to a customer earlier, or not customer, a brand earlier, and it took them 3 weeks to send one email. And that's just
I think a lot of people can probably relate to that.
Yes.
I mean, unfortunately, that's business as usual, right?
Yeah, it's not the way it should be.
Right.
So if anyone is doing that now, they need to think about it and come and see us, and we can help them out.
Alert, that's not how it needs to be. Alert,
exactly.
Alert, yeah.
So that was really great, because actually we saw loads of people reacting to that in the presentation, and then a lot of people came to see us afterwards and said, you've hit exactly the issue that we're having here. Tell me more about how to do it. So it's something we see a lot, and as I said, we help our customers move. And once you've got that automation in there, you can then get to adding personalization into that.
Any other examples you can share? You said you had loads of examples. What's one that really stood out to you that you think that would be good for our audience?
The real best example is actually from a brand called mobiles.co.uk. It's a car phone warehouse brand, and they have a mobile renewal program. So you've got a mobile phone, it's coming up for renewal, and they're going to send loads of emails to obviously get you to renew with them.
Yeah.
And it's a completely manual process at the start. So they were having to manually create something like 55 different emails within this program. And all the prices are different depending on the handsets. The prices change because loads of offers happen, and they just couldn't do it. And it wasn't personalized, and it was really, really boring and bland for the customer. So they then moved on a journey to do it at the time of open, and now the outcome is that the whole program is now fully automated. It updates at the time of open. It's personalized based on the handset you previously bought, or what you've shown interest in.
Yeah.
And now the results are huge. They've increased the results. So that's a real extreme kind of completely manual to now completely automated program, and it's driving great results.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And speaking of results, what other results can you point to that people might be surprised about, especially as it comes to email, right?
The result that I like the most is the increase, when you automate and personalize in a good way, the increase you can get in AOV, which is the average order value. So average order value being how how much people are buying in one purchase. If you do personalization well and you do it well over a long time, that AOV increases because people are seeing products that are more personalized to them. So they're going to buy not just one, or not just two, they might buy 3 or 4, therefore the AOV is increasing. And that has a huge effect on your overall revenue. So it's not a surprising metric, but it's one I really like to see an increase because it's such a big effect on the results.
Absolutely. And that brings me to, it begs the question about something that we hear about year after year. Email is always dead and dying, right? And that's obviously not the case. So what would you say to, because it's coming again, like it's always right around the corner that email is dead. What would be your rebuttal to that right now?
They're wrong if anyone says that. I mean, obviously we know that and everyone knows that. The return that you get from sending email is the highest return on any channel. I actually think that the people that say email is dead actually don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and they're not using it.
They're not using it. They're not, maybe even not marketers. So they don't understand, maybe kind of tech writers or other things like that. So I think everyone who is here at Revolution knows it's not.
Yeah.
And if they hear someone else say it, they're like, well, I know it's not, so just ignore it.
It's almost like email as we knew it. Email as we knew it 10 years ago. Yeah, that's long gone. And if you are doing it that way, you're missing out on so much, right? I mean, it's so much.
What people also kind of aspire to is to not do email. And that, they don't want a busy inbox and things like that. So yeah, I don't believe any tech or anything that's out there is going to kind of kill off email at all.
Especially when more and more things become available to make those emails more and more relevant and timely and accurate and effective for the recipient.
The other thing I want to say is start kind of thinking about it in small steps. So don't try and personalize everything straight away. Start with small bits and build up from there. It's something that we call marginal gains, and it's you build one bit of personalization, get it out the door, see its effect, add another one on top, get it out the door, see its effect. You do that over the course of a year, then you almost might get there in terms of it. If you try and start there, then it's not going to happen.
I think that's so true because especially marketers, we tend to get excited, we get eager, we're under a lot of pressure to deliver ROI and to do all the things, right? So I think that's very good advice. It's just, you don't need to boil the ocean, just one drop at a time. One thing we always talk about with guests on our show is the future of marketing. So what are your thoughts on what's headed our way as marketers, whether it's something that you're excited about or maybe even something that you're concerned about that you see heading towards marketers?
I think the main thing that I'm excited about is the type of level of personalization or the data that you can use for personalization within marketing. Because traditionally you might take this kind of base data. So you might say, oh, someone's postcode or someone's gender or someone's where they live is going to determine what the kind of thing they might buy. But that doesn't take into account sentiment. It doesn't take into account people changing their opinions, which people do. And it also doesn't take into account life changes, I don't think. So I think when you bring that in, sentiment to me is the most interesting one. When you can bring that in, if you could maybe use some algorithms, so you bringing AI into that, it allows you to add such a better layer of personalization or better experience on top of what you're doing from all channels, not just email. So I'm really excited about that. And from an owner of a technology company, we're investigating that as well, and it's actually really cool, like to investigate it and to see the kind of things that you can do. For example, you can take an image. Let's say you've got an image, and in that image there's a person wearing a shirt, jeans, and shoes. And someone's engaging with that image, and you can take out of that what color the shoes were, what style they were, what brand were, and that sentiment, and then apply that to further rules. That's really exciting, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plans out. It's not live and going yet generally, but it's there. The technology's there to do it.
The future of marketing. I mean, and I'm excited about that kind of stuff, not only as a marketer, but as a consumer too. I mean, that's going to be incredible. It's going to be a big change. So, all right, and before we let you go, how are you feeling about maybe doing some rapid fire? Yeah. Okay. So, first question. One word to describe marketing today.
I don't know. Unknown. Hard.
Fair. very fair.
Yeah, it is difficult.
It is. How about something that you want marketers to know, but you're pretty sure they don't?
They need to know that it's all right to take a step back and look at the overall strategy. Because a lot of marketers get stuck in the weeds, they get stuck in the day-to-day, they get stuck in the BAU loop and don't feel like they can get out. But it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, all right, I'm not going to do this now, I'm going to go and think about strategy.
Absolutely.
It's not going to hurt them and their boss won't mind. Email still will get sent, so it's okay.
I think you officially gave them permission. I think sometimes we need to hear that for sure.
Totally.
Okay, and last but not least, what is some content that you're consuming or have consumed recently that you would recommend to our audience?
I really enjoy podcasts.
So do I.
Yes. I know you've recently launched one, which I listen to, of course.
Yes.
But I actually like taking a step out of marketing and trying to learn from people in different industries and then applying that to marketing. My favourite podcast to do this, and I don't know if anyone else said this because he's very popular, is Tim Ferriss.
Yes.
He has obviously a very popular podcast, I'm sure you know him well. So he interviews people, very, very successful people in loads of different industries. And there's so many takeaways from lots of different industries that can be applied to marketing and actually your thoughts around marketing. So I'd recommend listening. And
before I let you go, where can our audience find you and more information and content from Kick Dynamic?
Kickdynamic.com is the best place. We've got loads of resources on there. We can probably put the presentation up, I think, maybe. And that's the best place to find anything about Kick Dynamic. And find me, just find me on LinkedIn, Matt Hayes.
Sounds perfect. Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you so much for being here at Revolution. Thanks so much for being here on the show and for doing this interview.